What is going on? Welcome back to Driven. Today, something that's been on my mind lately as life and business and all that are kind of taking off. Life is definitely like a roller coaster. And what I mean by that is there's ups, there's downs. There's rarely really plateaus. And if there are, I think you kind of should reevaluate how you're approaching things. But it's generally going to be ups and downs that you've got to manage. And I think emotional resilience and self-awareness in who you are and understanding where you're trying to be will help you through those ups and those downs. Something that Drew, my business partner, and I have talked about from the beginning of doing this thing is don't get too high when those highs are great. And I think that helps when you're in a tough situation. You don't get too low, so you kind of maintain. So even though things are doing this, you're kind of staying a little bit more steady, right? You let those good things, you celebrate your wins certainly, but you don't let those specifically downs take you down to a place. So having that emotional resilience and understanding kind of where you're going, and that those things are going to be part of the process. So lately we've been having a lot of successes with work, and there are big challenges that come with being more successful. So whether you're having an impact on the market like we are right now, you always have to have those things in perspective. So when some challenge lands on your plate, you're able to deal with that a little bit better. So whether that's a deliverable or a project that you're working on, or if that's something that is some internal growth challenges or strategies that you've got to try to develop, you have to always understand that working through those tough situations is A, you're going to get better at working through them the more that you do, and B, there's something good that's going to come out of it. You would not have to dig through tough things if something beneficial was going to be on the back end of that. And I think if you can have that frame of reference, that benefit ends up being way more impactful than if you were just kind of going through the motions, let's get this shit done and let's knock it out and then move on, versus, hey, this is really fucked up and I understand that. Here's the roadmap. What are our fundamentals and what's our vision look like, and let's knock this out. So then when you do go through that process, you're not only taking care of that thing, you might be setting up some internal processes that will shield you from some of these challenges later. Or right now our business is fairly young, so we know that dealing with these issues, they're not just at a magnitude that we can't handle. They are very challenging, but it's not like, imagine you're running $100 million a year business. Those challenges are going to be massive. Where we're at, the challenges are there, and I'd rather deal with them earlier on the front end, because I think the financial impact is not as great, and the I don't know how I would word it. I would say kind of the fundamental impact of what you're going through, you're going to be able to shore those things up and move along. So that's the same thing in your personal life. You might have issues with friends, you might have something bums you out that you go through in life, maybe a family member passes away. If you understand, and that person, say somebody does pass away or somebody gets sick, that person meaning a lot to you, I know it would mean a lot to them to see you deal with that. You can grieve, you can do your thing, but as you kind of work through that process, that person would like to see you get through that successfully and use that as a stepping stone to grow. And I think having that perspective is always just what keeps you fresh. It keeps me fresh, certainly. I don't let things get me down. I was talking about this with somebody Thursday, I think, where you run into a shitty situation. I don't know what it is. I think during my childhood, I was raised to always just deal with it, right? And I think everybody, based on what your DNA is, everybody processes and packages that stuff differently. And that's not to say that you need to suppress those feelings, but what I'm saying is being able to just suck something up and deal with it is really what you've got to do in a practical sense in the day-to-day of the world. Somebody will just, in business, it's cutthroat. People just beat the shit out of you, and they make their money and they go on. They're not thinking, oh, how did I deal with that? The one thing I would say though, the people that aren't like that, the people that are confident, because I think people that go that route, they're not internally happy or confident. They're just taking advantage of a good situation. That's got a really short shelf life. The people that don't do that are confident, are self-aware, are compassionate, and have empathy, for people in their day-to-day life, and they really feed off of everybody else's positive energy and positive experience. So you want to hold on to those relationships of people that do take care of you. But like I was saying, getting through the grieving process, using that stuff as a positive. You might graduate from college. Well, guess what happens with graduating from college? It's probably your most amazing achievement of your whole life. Boom, you got a job, you're starting at the bottom again. So you have a really high. Graduations, I mean, for me, it was one of the funnest days of my life. Your family's there, all your friends are graduating. It's a big party, it's a good time. Well, right after that, you start at the bottom of the totem pole and you got to work your way up. You might work your way up to a position in a company, and then all of a sudden, boom, they cut your position and you're fired. So you might be at a senior management level, boom, you're at the bottom. You have to prove yourself, develop that seniority at a new place. Those things are experiences that you need to be able to draw on for the future. And I think that stuff is massive. I think that leads to big self-awareness. I think a big chunk of that self-awareness is really in us. It's in your heart. You're born with it. It's how you're raised. But I think those challenges that you grow through can really help develop that. And those are the people that are the most successful. So if you guys have any questions about this stuff, it's something that is on my mind 100% of the day. I stand in the shower at night just thinking about this stuff. I read a lot of things at night, watch a lot of YouTube, listen to a lot of stuff while I'm driving, and I just spend a lot of time in this mental space in building this mental framework. So if you guys have any questions, I'm always willing to have coffee, have a conversation, text me. I just reach out, because it's the feedback that I've been getting is huge, and I think I have a lot to contribute to you guys when it comes to this kind of stuff. So life is like a roller coaster. Don't let the highs get you too high. Definitely celebrate your wins. Don't let the lows get too low, and don't worry about that shit that really takes you down there. Work through that and get to a positive place in your life. Saturday evening, I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Thank you for the support. Please like, please subscribe. My goal is to get to 100 views. And when that happens, it'll be a whole nother level. So thank you. Have a great day.